inaugural meeting of the Tiffin City Board of Education. We would start with the Pledge of Allegiance. It will be led by our regional art qualifiers, MLA Fleck, Elena Hayes, Whitney Johnson, Lucille Smothers. Boys Basketball Division II, Northwestern Ohio Coach of the Year, Travis Kidd, Logos Beeston team, LJ Reeves, and then Cole Eisenhower from swimming, and our wrestling qualifiers, Brody Conley, Brett Minnick, Jay Poole, Maddox. We will give you a certificate of appreciation for your accomplishments. I would also like each one of you to support a statement about why you're doing what you do and what you like about Tiffin. Thank you. Mr. Grubbs will call whoever.
Test. Okay, so as I call your name, I'm going to have you walk down and step up to the mic, and then as Dr. Hoyta indicated, please say something that, what you love about the Tiffin City Schools. Earlier this year, we did some gathering of information, and we have a fairly long list. I want to see if your statements agree with our list from earlier this year. First up, let's recognize our art students for their outstanding recognition in having their artwork at the regional/state qualifiers, regional winners for state as a state qualifier. So Elena Hayes. Elena is also one of our student board representatives. Congratulations.
One thing that I definitely love about Tiffin City Schools is the people who work in the art department. Mrs. Humphrey and Mr. Schmitz, they're like great leaders to the art department, and they've done a great job this year.
Thank you. Stand right here if you like. Up next is Emily Flick. Did I say that right, Emily? All right, Flick. All right, thank you. I'll let you go ahead and say something.
One thing I really like about the TC schools is the teachers who have helped me grow and become the person that I am today. I wouldn't be as good as I am today if they weren't here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Whitney Johnston. Congratulations, Whitney.
Thank you. One thing that I really love about the art department is how much talent is in the department and how much of a positive environment it is, and it's really great to come to every day.
And Lucille Smothers.
One thing that I definitely love about the TC art department is the positive environment that has allowed me to grow as an artist.
Our winners for the regional art show and our state qualifiers for the governor's art show. Give them a round of applause. I'd also like to thank Mr. Schmitz and Mrs. Humphrey for a great job they do in our department. Anyone who listens to our Tea Time podcast was also designed by this group, so thank you. Right there. Thank you. Up next is basketball. Coach Ken being named Division II Northwest District Coach of the Year. What an honor and what a great season our basketball team had, and let's give him a big round of applause for a terrific job they've done this year. And Coach, you don't get out of this either, so you got to say something you love about the Tiffin City Schools.
I think just in general, the support, not only from the administration above, but the community, the parents, the players, obviously. It's been great, and I think, it's a really special situation when you know that after the season, you get a text from the custodians and some of the groundskeepers that help set up the gym, saying that they're looking forward to help set up the gym next year. That just tells you what a special place this is.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you. What's that? Oh, okay.
Why don't you hang down here with wait for your players. Up next is Logan Beeston. Logan, first team SBC, first team All Northwest District, and All Ohio honorable mention. Congratulations, Logan.
Thank you.
Say a few words.
One thing I love about Tiffin City Schools is how easy the teachers are to work with. They're very flexible.
Thank you. Up next, LJ Reeves, boys basketball, first team SBC, second team All Northwest District, and also All Ohio honorable mention. Congratulations, LJ.
One thing I love about Tiffin City Schools and the basketball program is it's full of people who care and help me when I need it.
Our players and coach from the boys basketball team, and what a great season once again. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you.
Up next is swimming, a sport that I tend to know a lot about. I get to officiate, and actually officiated a couple of meets for the team this year. But Cole Eisenhower, swimming, finished 6th in the state in the 50 freestyle and 12th in the 100 freestyle. What an accomplishment. I can tell you that Division II swimming in the state of Ohio is one of the toughest divisions that you can ever be in any sport. So congratulations, Cole.
One thing I really like about Tiffin is that the coaches, they're always nice to you, and when you're going through a rough time, they're always there to support you no matter what you're going through, and they always keep pushing you no matter what to get you better.
Again, congratulations to Cole. Great swim season. Next up is our wrestlers. We're going to start out with our state placer, state qualifier, which is CJ Poole. And so come on down, CJ. Congratulations on making it to the state.
Thank you. One thing I love about Tiffin is my coaches and teammates, because they help me get where I am, and I know they'll help me get where I want to be.
Next up is Maddox Simcoe. Come on down, Maddox. Congratulations, Maddox.
Thank you. The one thing I really like about Tiffin City Schools is the wrestling staff and how great they are.
Next up is Brett Minnick, who took 5th place at the state. And I think I forgot to mention that Maddox was an 8th place placer at the state as well.
One thing I love about Tiffin City Schools is definitely all the support that is just always going around.
And last but not least, our state champion at 170-pound Ohio High School Athletic Association State Wrestling Championship meet in Columbus, or Dayton, right? Yeah, we don't remember where he's at. He just knows he won. So come on down, Brody Conley.
The one thing I love about Tiffin City Schools is not only the support that we get through the school and through the athletic department, but also the community as well as all the support, and it's just really appreciated by all of us.
For being a former wrestling coach and a wrestler, I can just appreciate what they went through to get to where they're at. Obviously, they did this amongst the pandemic and was able to be successful and make it to the state and place and win state. And what a great job our wrestling team did this year. Congratulations once again, fellas. Thank you. Up next, Mr. Bose has some business honor roll recognition he'd like to pass out.
Thank you, Mr. Grubbs, and again, congratulations to all of our students for their accomplishments throughout the course of the winter seasons. Certainly a great honor to work with these students each and every day. You know, a lot of these students up here talked about support and how thankful they are, and what they like most about Tiffin City Schools is the support. And as a district, we are so very fortunate to have the support of many of our businesses here in the Tiffin community. Each year, OSBA, Ohio State Board Association, asks for nominations to recognize businesses in the area that help support Tiffin City Schools, help support our mission, and do so very generously. So this year, we nominated 5 businesses in the area. Certainly, I wish we could do more. The limit is only 5. And we've done this every year that I've been the assistant superintendent, and we'll continue to do so because there's just so many good things going on with our Tiffin businesses, and they're so very supportive of our students and programs. So first up, I'd like to call, let me put on my glasses, sorry. Tom Miller, CEO and President of Ballright Snack Food Company. We want to recognize Ballrights for their generous contribution of food items for the student feed program, totaling almost $1,000 this past year. So thank you to Ballrights Snack Food Company.
On behalf of the investors of Ballright Snack Food, as well as all the employees, we'd like to thank Tiffin City Schools and the city of Tiffin for your support, and we recognize how important education is, and likewise the students. So thank you very much for this honor that you've given us. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call up Gwen Stollard from Krogan Colonial Bank. Gwen reached out to us earlier in the fall and asked, on the heels of the pandemic here, what they could do to help our students and staff and our programming. And we decided that based on the unknown, that webcams for each of our teachers would be a good idea so that they can reach out to the students in a more efficient way. And Krogan didn't bat an eye. They spent almost $10,000 on webcams and related equipment for our students and staff back in the fall, and we're certainly very appreciative and grateful for that. So on behalf of the TC administration, thank you very much to Colonial Bank.
On behalf of Krogan Colonial Bank, we'd like to thank Tiffin City Schools for allowing us to help them with a technology need in a year where technology was so important. Thank you.
Next up, we have Andrew, District Manager of Domino's Pizza of Tiffin. Is Andrew here with us tonight? Not able to make it. Nonetheless, we certainly want to recognize Domino's. Domino's, again, contributed food items to the student feeding program over the past year, totaling over $1,200. It's because of support of businesses like this that, we won't be able to do some of the things we do. So we certainly thank Domino's for their contribution and certainly want to recognize them. So thank you, Domino's. Next up, we have Lieutenant James and Marcella Hughes and their administrative assistant from the Salvation Army of Tiffin. Again, very supportive folks here at the Salvation Army, and we certainly appreciate all they do. Salvation Army looks at our students and their needs, and they have donated school supplies to the value of almost $2,500 for our different buildings this year. And again, it's because of their generosity that our students are well-equipped and have the materials they need to get the job done in the classroom. So Salvation Army of Tiffin, thank you very much for your contributions and your generosity. Thank you.
Well, my husband, Lieutenant James, and I just arrived in Tiffin this past August. And immediately upon arriving, we found that we love this community. Everyone in this community is so willing and excited to give back. And we're just happy that the Salvation Army in Tiffin is active in being a part of that. So we just want to continue to support in any way that we can. So thank you, guys.
And the final business honor roll recipient for this year was Tiffin Air. They couldn't be with us here tonight. Brad and Kim Newman. Through their generosity, we were able to purchase Chromebook covers. They donated over $2,000 for our students so to protect those important electronic devices. So even though they couldn't be here tonight, we certainly want to recognize them. Thank you, Tiffin Air.
We'd like to thank all the students, teachers, coaches, and the businesses for all their support at Tiffin City Schools. Now we will start our meeting. Mrs. Fair, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Hoyta.
Present.
Dr. Gase.
Here.
Dr. McBride. Mr. Perez.
Here.
Mr. Widman.
Here. Item 2, let's adopt the agenda. Board members, please review the agenda, and I need a motion to adopt.
And I would like to note that we have an addendum, and that will be item 13.02 to accept the interim superintendent resignation.
Second. Mrs. Perry, any other discussion? Perry, call the roll.
Dr. McBride? Yes. Dr. Gase?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Widman?
Yes.
Dr. Hoyta?
Yes. Item 3 is acknowledgement of guests. Any other guests you'd like to?
Well, just once again, welcome everyone, in particular, all the people who have been recognized tonight, along with the Kraut, the presentation that we'll see here very shortly. We appreciate all the parents and the support in being here tonight. And as we heard loud and clear from our athletes and art students, that the thing we got to be most proud of is our staff. Our staff are here as well tonight, and we appreciate them being here on a normal basis. Thank you.
Item 4, speaking of Kraut, Mr. Beeston, would you present your students and the presentation for us, please?
All right, thank you for having us, to give the update on Kraut Elementary for this school year. There's a lot of really good things going on at Kraut. This year's been very, very difficult for, students. It's been difficult for teachers. It's really been difficult for everyone in the building just because of how different things are. But, they've all persevered. We managed to get through, almost completely through a teaching and working in a pandemic year without having to shut down. I think that's a testament to all the things that we've put in place, to teachers cooperating with those protocols and students buying in and following along with those things as well. Even as difficult as it was to not have things that they're used to having, like recess after lunch or being able to eat in the cafeteria, has been hard, but they've found a way to survive, and most importantly, they're growing and doing what they're supposed to do. I could talk a lot about all the things that we are accomplishing, but I thought it would be better and more appropriate to hear from the kids who are in the classroom so they can tell you about the things that they like about Kraut and the things that they have been learning throughout this school year. So our first student that's going to talk to you is Max Coomer, and he's a third grader.
I like Kraut School because I have tons of friends. We get to use computers, and they rarely serve cold turkey and cheese sandwiches. My favorite thing is that everybody is kind. My favorite subject is reading. I like to read because my favorite book is Dogman Fetch 22. I like to read because it inspires me. This year I learned to regroup and subtraction, also liked doing the bottle flip experiment. I like my teachers because they're funny sometimes. They are caring. They all like math. Also because the kids get to celebrate their birthdays. They're smart and they're fair. Mr. Beeson is cool. Sometimes he's funny sometimes. He's awesome. I don't go to his office, but he is nice and he likes kids. He was very kind to invite me to the basketball game. Crowd School makes me happy because they reopened the playground and because I get to see Kennedy, Astro, and rarely Ace.
Thank you, Max. Our next student is Ryland Kiefer, second grader.
My name is Ryland Kiefer. I'm in Mrs. Simo's class.
Put that way. There you go. Go ahead.
My favorite subject is PE in art class. Mr. Beeson is really nice. Mrs. Simo is really nice and funny.
Ryland, do you want to tell everyone where you had to learn when you were in quarantine?
In my dad's truck,
And what kind of truck was that?
a semi truck.
And how did that go?
Good.
Thank you, Ryland. Our next student is Emerson Hoyta, third grader.
What makes Crowd great is that there are so many fun things you get to do. I got to see a food truck after we learned about business. We did a Thanksgiving project on parade floats and we got to make our own float. We had a contest and I made Broadway. My third grade teacher, Mrs. Newlove, is really sweet and she has helped me learn how to be a better reader. I really liked having Miss Simpson as a student teacher. We got to do fun projects with her. There are a lot of kind kids at Kraut. You can make friends very easily there. All of the teachers are fun and do fun activities. I feel excited to go to school every day because I look forward to learning something new at Kraut.
Thank you, Emerson. And our final student is Charlie Zaka, third grader.
Hi everyone, my name is Charlie Zaka. I'm in third grade Kraut School. My favorite subject in school is science because it's interesting to learn about how things work. I love doing experiments. Something I learned this year is how to do virtual work on my Chromebook. Kraut School is great because all of my friends are here this year. And Mrs. Horn is the bestest teacher I've ever had in my life. Here are some reasons why. She helps me understand and she explains everything very well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Charlie. Just want to thank you guys again for letting us come and talk a little bit about all the great things that are going on at Kraut. I could have brought 100 more kids and got 100 more different stories. There's so many good things going on there. It's because of the staff that we have, because of the students we have, and the most part because of the families we have as well. So we appreciate your support and all the things that you do for us, and thank you again for allowing us to present.
Mr. Beeson, we'd like to thank you and the students from Kraut for giving that nice presentation. I just have one question for you. What did you bribe the students with? Say some kind of things about you.
One of them just wanted to be with you.
I feel sorry for the child. Moving right along, we'll go to committee reports. First committee report, Business Advisory, Dr. Gase.
Business Advisory Committee met by Zoom on April 15th, 8 a.m. And a rather large group, about 80-some of us now, all the districts that are involved. And so it's difficult to get through the agenda, but Amy Wood did a tremendous job of getting through 3 committee reports. We have Leadership and Governance Committee, we have Work-Based Learning Committee, we have a Communication and Engagement Committee. Each individual committees are at work doing things such as getting needs assessments from all the districts, schools that are districts that are enrolled or association with us, the needs that they have, and then the business needs as well. So we're trying to get a database established. Trying to get bylaws created. They've been created. We're reviewing them now, and we're getting branding. One of the things I found interesting is Greg Ettinger presented some of the Vanguard Sentinel data, and I was looking for it to find if I could find this, but he presented the Perkins CPD-CTE data, which maybe Chris knows more about it than I do, but I think he had like 15 of the top 17 came out of Northwest Ohio, came out of Vanguard Sentinel.
The home schools for Vanguard Sentinel were dominated the top 15 schools
It was
in
really,
Ohio.
the data was like amazing how strong it is. And one other thing I took away from there is that I do believe that we have to get back to thinking about middle school, 7th and 8th year. In-Demand's Jobs Week coming up May 3rd through 7th. That's a statewide week where school will try to, since last year Chris had something for STNAs. But I think in the past we've had graduate day. No, we're doing Zoom. We didn't do it last year. There'll be some things that happening. Might be on the website. I don't know. Demand Jobs Week, May 3rd. Our next meeting will be May 20th. Continue to be. Questions?
Thank you, Dr. Gay. Next committee, Finance Committee.
Mr. President, if I may combine that and the legislative part, because they overlap. Thank you, sir. We met again, Finance Committee. Thank you to the members. Went over the checks that we've issued to make sure that we have accounting. And speaking of that, I believe we all got the preliminary audit report. And I think we're lucky to have a treasurer like Ms. Perry. However, at the Finance Committee meeting, we did go over, I believe, the 5-year forecast in our financials, and Ms. Perry's still consistent with her assessment of the situation. She has considered ESSER 1, 2, and now it's 3, correct? But we can't count on ESSER 3 yet because it hasn't even been released. We're still on ESSER 2, but regardless of whatever happens, any money that we get is only supplanting money we've lost. So once that money's gone, we still have that spending in place, and it's something that we have to address. ESSER 3, the big question is what kind of strings will be attached to it. In terms of the legislative report, the big legislative action is that the House did meet and pass the budget bill, their version of it, which is different than the governor's proposal. Is focused on wellness money. They're focusing on the fair funding formula. However, the fair funding formula as described in this bill is different than the one from the winter last year. Our share actually our amounts are not comparable to what they were before. So it's actually lower. And so it's not the panacea that I warn people, it's not going to be that. And it's again phased in. And then ultimately, it's up to the Senate now, and they have, I believe, until June to come up with their own proposal as well, and then consolidate them all. So we won't hear anything about that until the summer. But in that regard, turning to the levy committee, if I may, that's coming up. Early voting has started. We still have that need for that operating levy. And I have run into people that have asked questions. It's not for construction, it's for operations, teacher salaries. It's for what you saw at the beginning of this presentation, those students up there. That's what it's for. And I've just discussed, fair funding plan isn't going to be the rescue, the local obligation, and we're going to have to step up to do it. You're not seeing a lot of efforts. It's really just mainly word of mouth is what we're relying on, and hopefully the community can see that. I have nothing further to report.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Dr. McBride, this
District leadership April 3rd. Again, this is shared district variety of throughout the district coming together and working on the OIP process with this strong job there. We also have a school climate subcommittee and then academic. April, they were focusing on SMART goals as we move district and strong goals. Next DLT 7:45.
Thank you, Dr. McBride. Court service.
Yes, the Court Services Committee met Friday. Some of the things that we spent the time on is the staggered times for next school year with the bus changes and such. Talked about the toured the Lincoln building and to get a better understanding how that building could administrative offices working on estimates things, so we're to report on that. And one of the things we talked about is the building rental fee and update that policy. Those are some of the things that are forthcoming. We'll meet again on Friday, May the 1st.
Goodman, Records Committee.
So there's a lot going on at Guard Sentinel. There's a lot of opportunities. One of the things I'll highlight is that what's called the High School Tech Internship Pilot Program. That was one of the sites was awarded to Guard Sentinel. We're excited about what that does is help get some placed out in the field. Wages are reversed. State, another opportunity in getting the high demand jobs. Highlight that was not too many districts awarded that grant or opportunity pilots. Electric Ace mentioned. It is, I would I'd have to research it more, but it talks about the high demand parts. But I believe anything that come out of Sentinel considered appropriate. Not all the programs Sentinel would high demand. Any of these programs.
Right.
Sure, we could take looks at that because that's a niche in our community. The other thing that Guard Sentinel is taking pride in is preparing the students jobs in our area.
Questions from
Bio Club ended their third
Mansour and his bio club students. And the intern class has been on learning experience. Run lemonade stands. Winner gets to donate all proceeds collected to a charity. A huge congratulations to Carson Malott, Jacob Weingart, Hayden Riley, Gunther Kistel, and Garrett Chester for generating 45% of the over $300 will go to. Back in December of 2020, and our competition, the Live a Dream Foundation, awarded in April the Living Arts Scholarship and for art piece, large bodies. The art department is very proud and honored to have a student. Due to COVID-19, there will be no in-person art show held at Columbia. Instead, this year, every art piece created this school up on lockers that passing students have gotten their own areas to display. Boys tennis has had a phenomenal season so far as they have held on to a winning record of 14. Would not have had such an or clutched the 500th program history without Jacob Weingart, Brian Cecil, Landon Don, Tyler Endura, Bryce Burns. The softball team currently secures a 9th record overall. The Landers holds the top spots in the runs and as well as Haley holds the top spots for RBIs. LG Reed, Mikey McDowell were selected this month South All-Star. Due to COVID, the game will not be happening, but it is still. The baseball team has had a great season, holding captains Tim Lemon, Carson Malott, and are ready to lead for a tough end of the season. Track team is undefeated, placing third at the Bill Cross Invite. Is one of the largest of their seasons. Very proud of it. And finally, yesterday, at the end of the school day, the prom court nominated. Congratulations to schools Elena Zerm, Shannon Lemon, Dustin Sewell, Caleb Yoder, the King and
Moving on, and the assistant, Mr. Bose.
Thank you, Dr. Hoyta. Well, it's hard to believe we're already to the third quarter recipients of the Crystal Apple Award. Certainly we're very proud to recognize our outstanding staff members. So tonight we're going to recognize one, Mrs. Connie English. If Connie would like to come up here, please. Connie is being recognized as our certified staff member. Our classified staff member, Mr. Greg Bogart from the District Maintenance Department, couldn't be here tonight, so we'll make sure we recognize him at next month's board meeting. However, we do have Mrs. English, and we're very proud of her for receiving the award. She was nominated by the district-wide speech department, who consists of Beth Margroff, Lisa Snyder, and Christina Wheeler. Mrs. English holds a Bachelor's of Science in Education with a major in Communication Disorders and a Master's in Arts and Speech Language Pathology. Both of these degrees come from Bowling Green State University. I won't say when you graduated, if that's okay. She started teaching for Tiffin City Schools, though, in 2002, and prior to that, Mrs. English served in several educational institutions around the area, some ESCs, some other local school districts prior to that, and she has a very long, distinguished list of stops along the way, but we're certainly glad that she found her way to Tiffin City Schools in 2002. So if you remember, there's 4 different areas that we look at excellence in selecting the nominees. So in the area of teaching, this is what the speech department had to say about Mrs. English. Connie teaches her speech students with multimodality teaching strategies, giving them many physical, visual, and verbal cues. She uses various activities which include technology, hands-on materials such as colored beads. Even though she has years of experience, she is constantly trying to learn new methods through professional development and implement these new methods into her lessons. In the area of commitment, Connie has worked beyond school hours with her students and even works with students during the summer at her home. She has worked with her students for many extended school year services during the summer. She worked for many years on her own time implementing the Equity Quest social skills group after school for her students with autism here at TMS. I remember that. That was an awesome group. Is it still going on? No? I know you got many things on your plate. I understand. She has spent numerous hours at home doing Medicaid billing and all of the paperwork that goes along with her position. In the area of leadership, Connie is the voice of the speech department. She has years of experience, which she readily shares with her fellow speech language pathologists. She has mentored new SLPs in the district and student teachers in the field. She is also a member of the interventions assistance team at Kraut. Plus, she constantly emails learning opportunities and shares news resources with the speech team as well as teachers. Finally, in the area of student-centered, Connie's therapy sessions are nothing but student-centered, focusing on their IEP goals and encouraging engagement. Providing Equity Quest after school was part of her being student-centered as to make it accessible for our students. Some of the outstanding accomplishments, Connie is a member of the American Hearing Speech Association, the Ohio Speech Language Hearing Association, and Ohio School Speech Pathology Education Audiology Coalition. Connie, we are very proud of you. We thank you for your time and your service here in Tiffin City Schools, and we are so very glad that you found your way here in 2002. Congratulations, Connie.
Thank you, everybody. I just want to say that I work with some really incredible people, and that's what allows us to do what we do. We have flexible teachers and the great bond that I have with the SLP team. It's superb, but I think, Beth, you probably forgot a couple of things from that list, but we'll talk about that later. But no, seriously, thank you so much. It's been such a weird, unusual year, and I so appreciate it.
I'm sorry, again, Greg couldn't be here tonight, so we'll make sure that we recognize him at the May board meeting. But certainly congratulations to Greg, and we'll have a whole litany of things to share about him next month. So thank you very much.
elementary school and the middle want to have a program to really try to focus getting them back in excited about learning how all staff that they elementary. I'll also sign up for ads also request to be part of the program. And the program credit recovery, our middle school.
Yes, for Mr. Grubbs. I saw the surveys that went out in terms of the interest in the programs. Is this something that's already budgeted for, or is it budget neutral?
Oh, Karen and I have talked about to come out. Has to be us.
Thank you.
Up next is, we have on the agenda is just a quick discussion on staggered start times. Wanted to give the board an update. Been quite a bit of discussion that starting times that we have. High school 7:20, 7:30. Out Washington 9. Not in the hour. Back to bus rides would be definitely be most positive about plan. Bus drivers, amount of bus drivers currently bus routing of this Conger would 4 additional bus drivers next school. For all the bus next year. Not familiar with the around the entire state finding bus drivers possible. Drivers are out sick, not being able to fill routes. Suggestions made of money, you by that bonus. Tell you that part of many Senate meeting, many of those things tried and without success. Plan to present, vote on. Start at 10. That is high school. High school. Washington. No change. Questions?
Having been able to one of the things that and also we're getting to a point where looks like all the options have plus the
Item 5.
Have to ask Mr. Chrysler to kind of go through graduate publicly.
Mrs. Beth Schweitzer at the Seneca County Board of Health. She has been tremendous to us as a school district and as a high school, and very, very supportive. We have a live graduation planned for Saturday, May 22nd at 6 p.m. at Frost Cow Stadium. It's important to note this year with graduation, coming indoors is not an option. So what we're going to do to make this work is we are going to use rolling graduation times. Graduation Saturday, May 22nd, 6 p.m. at the stadium. In the event, we're going to have perfect weather that day, let me tell you too. In the event that we would not have perfect weather, we're going to roll to Sunday, 2 p.m. So we'll give folks time to get to church, time to get back from church, get the graduate to the high school, and we'll go Sunday at 2 p.m. In the event that Sunday at 2 p.m. is not going to work, like I said, we're going Saturday, 6 p.m. We'll roll Sunday night, 6 p.m., okay? In the event that Sunday at 6 p.m. will not work due to weather, we're going to roll to Monday night, 6 p.m. So in summary, we got a rolling graduation time. Saturday, 6 p.m., Sunday at 2, Sunday at 6 again, and Monday at 6 again if we need it. Due to the size of our senior class, there is not a facility in Tiffin that we can run an indoor graduation. And Mrs. Schweitzer probably would not have signed off on that anyway. Interesting to note with graduation, like all things here during the pandemic, it's going to look a little different. Program start to finish, estimated time, hour to an hour and 5. So that's about our normal time. With regard to attendance, our fall capacities there at the stadium for football, for soccer, for any event, the band concert was 720 people, okay? She has not moved that guideline for us here in Seneca County. I begged and asked and explained, we really need 800. Here's why. We've got 185 graduates this year. I said, I need 4 tickets. I told her 200 because that's ballpark where we were. So I need 4 tickets per graduate. That takes into account a split family, mom, stepdad, dad, stepmom, or a family of 4. Graduation is going to be streamed thanks to the services of Mr. Weber and his crew. It'll be on Facebook Live. Folks can have a watch party if they have more than their 4 tickets. We're only using the home side of the stadium like normal. In working through our proposed plan with Mrs. Schweitzer that was approved, a couple of things are going to be a little different, but they're going to be fun. First, our band will be spread out socially distant on the football field, okay? Second, when our graduates come down and march, as they march down Union Street, they're going to come in 2 lines like normal. However, here's where it's going to change. When they get to the Union Street gate, as they come into the stadium onto the track, our graduates are going to split then into 2 single file lines. Our graduates will be spaced socially distanced apart around the track, seated as we go through, the typical graduation ceremony. Graduate is going to be to your right. The very last graduate is going to be to the left. It's going to be a revolving Ring of Honor graduation. Every kid gets their moment on the stage in the spotlight. Board, as usual, I'll have you help and take turns presenting diplomas. And when we get that ring revolved, we will finish up graduation and they will proceed out, up. That Mrs. Schweitzer wanted in our plan. Also have a special surprise for them. I'm hoping that we're still going to need them. If we aren't, I'm good with that too. We ordered each graduate so that we could keep them all looking sharp, a special commemorative class of 2021 graduation mask, and I will also have those for school personnel, their graduation that are on stage, and for you all, the board. Hopefully we don't have to wear masks. Maybe things will relax, maybe they won't, but we're prepared if they don't so that our kids look sharp and are ready to go. Questions for me about graduation? Thanks so much, everybody. Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Nothing else, Scotty?
No.
Okay. The first opportunity for the would like to speak. 30 minutes, Come to the podium. Name and address.
Yeah, my name is Aaron Schmitz. I live at 2802 County Highway 9, Sycamore, Ohio. 44882. Sorry, that was Cincinnati. So I didn't get a chance to say why I loved Tiffin City Schools before when my students were up here. And I think since moving up here, it's just become more evident in the past 3 years that I've taught here. When I moved up here from Cincinnati, I was used to a much different clientele, much different vibe at our school. There wasn't a lot of school pride. There's a lot of anger, fighting. Test scores weren't that great. We were lucky to get kids out of the hallway by the time the bell rang. And my first day at Columbian I was startled. I had kids to class on time. I literally had tears in my eyes second period. There are some kids that actually got to see that. It was pretty ridiculous. Something special is happening here in this town. The people are kinder. The students work harder. They take pride in their school and they love it. We offer many things at Columbian High School that the private school that I went to in Cincinnati did not offer. I want my kids to have that, and that's the reason I'm here tonight. I have 3 kids that are enrolled right now. We live in Mohawk, but we send our kids here because we have faith in what's going on. The starting times. So that's really the reason I'm here. I understand that it'll save money. That's fine. Money, though, as you erode things away from something, can change it fundamentally, what it is. And as we pick away, regardless of a deficit, whatever, I'm here because I want to preserve what's going on for my children. I want my kids to graduate from Columbian High School. I love it there. My daughter, who's in 3rd grade, when she came here, she was in 1st grade. As a kindergartner in Cincinnati, she was in the top of her class. We were very proud of her. When she got here, after testing, she was at the bottom, literally at the bottom of her class. And we couldn't figure out why. Well, it's because the standard is high here. She, over the past 3 years, has received such great instruction that now she tested into the advanced reading level, right? Where she could barely recognize the sight words that all the kids knew because they did it in kindergarten here. Now she's an excellent student. She's doing great. She's thriving. My son, who's in 1st grade, he loves his teachers. He loves his friends. My preschooler is excited to go to kindergarten. But if the start times change, I can't enroll them here because I work at the high school. We will be starting at 7:20, which means I'll probably have to be there 15 minutes before that. And my son's start time is now 9 o'clock. Look at that window, right? That's huge. At the end of the day, I'll be sticking around school, right? And it might be an hour. It might be past 4 o'clock by the time I get my kids back and head back to Sycamore. And that's just too much time for my family personally. What I think is going to happen is you're going to see a ripple effect all throughout this community. It's going to affect people in ways that haven't necessarily been considered. You might have a middle school kid that gets their, first grade brother or sister on the bus. I see it every morning. You might have a parent that has to be at work on time. Well, now they have to pay a babysitter, okay, to watch their kid. And this is going to affect all these people in a way negatively. Yes, we could save money, okay? To the tune of $30,000 a year, I think is what I heard on the podcast. Was it around there? And then that will go on and on and on over the years, which is good. But we've also done away with fees at the high school, which took in almost $100,000 a year. I don't understand how we can do that. Now, I just want to say this. This school district manages its money very well, okay? I did a little bit of research, and I want to sing the praises of the people that are doing that. At the school district that I taught in Cincinnati, they spend approximately $9,973 per student. At Tiffin City Schools, we spend $8,580 per student. At the high school that I worked at in Cincinnati, the average ACT score was a 21. At Tiffin City Schools, it's a 26. Okay? We're doing a lot here with a little bit already. I think we should continue doing what we do and find a way to make it work. I want my kids here. I'm here as a parent, I have experience as a teacher, and I hope that you'll consider what I say and try to find a way to make it work. Thanks.
Carissa Allen, 135 Clinton Avenue. I just want to say thank you for all the work that I saw put in just here tonight, so I can only imagine how much more was put in to get something for graduation this year for those seniors, because that means so much to them. So I really want to applaud all the effort that was put in. I also want to thank Mr. Beeston. It has been a great 4 years having my 2 girls at your school. Just a great experience at Kraut. I couldn't be happier. And the last thing is the staggered times. I get that there might be, the busing issue. Tonight it sounds more like it's driven by personnel than money, which I understand, but for my family, we've been, we've just, every time it seems like we're finally going to get somewhere, we just kind of get pushed back again. My oldest is heading into the middle school, and my youngest is going into the 4th grade. So now my youngest is going to be at home how much longer by herself? It's just, that's where we have to work. We used to use the YMCA. They got rid of their program this year. There's just not a lot for parents out there for that before school care or even after school to accommodate that. So it just really does make it difficult for families. I understand that as a district, you're in a difficult position as well, but you really are putting families in a difficult position by making such an hour and a half difference on start times. And then who knows what that actually means for when my first gets on the bus versus when my second one gets on. So I just really hope that we take those circumstances into consideration. So thank you very much.
Anyone else like to address the board during the first session? Seeing none, we'll move to the consent agenda, item 7. 701 is the approval of minutes. 702 is the Approve the treasury reports for March. 703 is employment. Budget report.
Second.
Dr. McBride? Mr. Wood?
Abstain.
Dr. Gates?
Yes.
Hoyta?
Here, so it was good to see that already. My question is, I saw a bunch of
I would have to talk with Amy Wood to verify when that grant runs out, typically several years. Harry, do you happen to have an indication when it expires?
5-year track if we're.
We will definitely look into it and get back with you.
Excellent audits on. Or is.
Second.
Dr. McBride?
Yes.
Yes.
Dr. Gates?
Yes.
Dr. Hoyt?
Discussion? Let me catch to my agenda.
And I'll record that we returned at 7:51.
Sorry for the delay, waiting for technology. Yeah. Okay. Continuing on with item number 10, the potential employment of a public employee. Our first item is item 1001. It's to approve the terms of Dan McReese superintendent contract for 3 years, beginning on August 1st, 2021 through July 31st, 2024. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Mrs. Perry, please call the roll.
Dr. McBride?
Yes.
Mr. Widman?
Yes.
Mr. Perez? Dr. Gase?
Yes.
Dr. Hoyta?
Yes. Congratulations, Van. Welcome aboard. Item 1002, to approve the consulting contract of Van McReith beginning May 15th, 2021, expiring July 30th, 2021, not to exceed 15 working days. I need a motion, please.
Second.
Mrs. Perry, please call the roll.
Did Mr. Perez move?
Yes, Mr.
Thank
Perez.
you. Mr. Perez? Dr. McBride?
Yes.
Mr. Widman?
Yes.
Dr. Gase?
Yes.
Dr. Hoyta?
Yes. Exactly. So he can hit the ground running.
Well, in some of those pieces, we'll be working with Jim and getting to know the district, and it is time limited to those 15 days, but really allows him to get acclimated and to know our staff and the area, and then that way when he starts August 1st, he's ready to go.
Very good. Item 11, graduate approval. We would like to approve the Tiffin Columbian graduating class of 2021. Would I make a motion?
So moved.
Second. Mrs. Perry, please call the roll.
And I'm sorry, who moved?
Gase.
Dr. Gase?
Thank you.
Mr. Perez?
Dr. Gase?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
And Ms. Hayes left. Dr. McBride?
Yes.
Mr. Widman?
Yes.
Dr. Hoyta?
Yes. Congratulations to the class of 2021. And I understand it's 185 strong, I think is what we were told. Looking forward to the May graduation date on a sunny Saturday night. Item 12, student items. Adopt a resolution to modify curriculum retirements for the school year. Approve the 2022 CCP funding. Need a motion.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second.
Mrs. Perry, please call the roll.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Widman?
Yes.
Dr. McBride?
Yes.
Dr. Gase?
Yes.
Dr. Hoyta?
Yes. 1301, approve administrative contract for Nicholas Z. Smith. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Perry, call the roll.
Dr. Gase?
Yes.
Mr. Widman?
Yes.
Dr. McBride?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Dr. Hoyta?
Yes. Item 14, approve the Spire proposal for the website.
You have 13.02.
Oh, I missed I'm sorry. Excuse me. I didn't see the addendum. I'm sorry?
12.02. Or 13. No, the CCP? Oh.
I'm sorry for the confusion. 1302 is to accept the interim superintendent's resignation. I need a motion, please. Effective 6/21. Okay, it says 6/20, or I'm sorry, 6/26 is what it says here. Okay. 6/25, you want it, Jim, right? Okay, this is 6/26. Okay, need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
And just before we go into that vote, I just want to say thank you to Jim and for all that he's done. What a year to step in and to lead us. And, you know, we kept our elementary school, you kept our elementary school students in there for the whole year and looking across the state. That wasn't something that every district got. And it was an incredible year, and you worked with our staff and our community, and I'm really thankful for the work that you did, and thankful that we'll have you to bring Van on board, so thank you for that.
I appreciate the comments, and I would be remiss not to say that it's been obviously a challenging year in many ways, but also very rewarding to know that you're working with such a great staff. And when I say staff, that includes everyone from central office, custodians, maintenance, food service, bus drivers, teachers, aides, et cetera. It's just a great school district, and Van, you are being blessed with a staff that, as you heard from many of our students tonight, talk about how much they care. And I can't say enough about the pride that this district should have because of that. So thank you, and I want to thank all the board members for this opportunity. And if we're ever the need, please feel free to call.
And Mr. Grubbs, again, thank you. I had the fortune of having you lead the district, taking over with Mr. Bose over probably one of the most difficult times our district has ever faced, with challenges we've never seen. And I've learned a lot from you, and I think the board has too. And I thank you for the opportunity, and just I'm warning you, I'm going to vote no as a matter of principle. I know you've got better things to do, but thank you for spending some time in our district.
Thank you.
Anything else? Mrs. Perry, please call the roll.
Dr. McBride?
Yes.
Dr. Gase?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
No.
Mr. Widman?
Yes.
Dr. Hoyta?
Yes. We're to item 14, website proposal. After I botched item 13. That's 1401 is approve the Spire proposal for our website.
So moved.
Second, thank you for finally getting this on the agenda. This is something that's been long needed, so.
Yes, thank you for the work on this. I'm so excited for the usability of this as well.
Mrs. Perry, please call the roll.
Dr. Gase?
Yes.
Mr. Perez? Dr. McBride?
Yes.
Mr. Widman?
Yes.
Dr. Hoyta?
Yes. Item 15, opportunity for the public to dialogue with the board. Anyone so inclined to speak with us? Seeing none, we'll move to item 16, board discussion.
If I may, I want to give a shout out. I've already said it to him personally, to Mr. Hartzell and the entire staff of our school. This weekend and previous days, I've had the joy of, this weekend I think was pretty much fun. Saturday, we had the relays. Was out there bright and early, saw a bunch of staff members working there, the Shopwood Pit. Got to see a girl from Margaretta pole vault 14-1, the new state record for Ohio, and I think the 4th highest jump by a girl in the United States, and that happened on our track. But then the staff there also had double hitter boys, I think swept Fremont, correct? Great game there. Girls split a double hitter, and it was great seeing the middle schoolers also working the meet, but I don't know how they turn on because then they had a TU game that night. So, I mean, the school district is the heart of our community here. The stadium is, everyone shares in it. And to see the dialogue between us and Calvert as well. I know Matt Coleman's been doing some games on there, but it's just nice to be in this district, and I think everyone in our district has to be commended for what we do.
Absolutely. Thanks, Victor. Jeff, is it okay if I talk?
I'm sorry?
Is it okay if I go?
Yeah, sure.
So I wanted to talk about, I think it was Andy's idea. I'm not sure. I think it was Dr. Gase's idea, but it came up in a meeting about the admin building. The admin buildings have been a conversation for a while, but also like Lincoln and really being sound with those processes. And so I again, thank you to Jim and to Scotty and team and support services, being able to see how we can best capitalize on the Lincoln building and how that can be a central hub for the district. I thought being able to walk through and see it has been really insightful. So, Dr. Gase, thank you for realizing oh, well, we have both of these. Why can't we combine both of these spaces? I thought it was wise, but also the steps that the board and the district have taken to work with the Historic Trust and to ensure that we're being really mindful of the buildings as we move forward and the integrity of those pieces. It's been a really interesting year to learn some of those processes. So thanks for letting me jump on support services. I've learned so much, and I'm excited to see us merge those spaces. And thank you for your help with that as well.
Thank you again. And I will reiterate that as I have many times at this point, that move will be a significant cost savings for the district as the district moves forward. So I think it's something the district needs to highly consider. So.
Anyone else? I'd like to take, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Andy, go
I'd
ahead.
like to bring up the busing issue just for clarity for the community acceptance. And that is, how does the the busing requirements and what we provide? How does that play out? I know at one time we were providing above state requirement.
That's correct. For our district, and Scott, correct me, obviously Randy's not here, but currently we bus approximately 200 students who live within what we call the walk zone. So let's say, for an example, a high school. Our high school minimum busing right now is 2-mile radius from the school district or from the building they attend. So we have some people who live, I don't know, 2.1 miles, so they're required for us to transport them. But then you have those who live at 1.9 miles who we do not have to transport, but in many cases do. At the elementary level, it's a half-mile walk zone. And again, that is 1.5 miles above the state minimum. State minimum is 2 miles district-wide and no high school busing. That's what state minimum busing is. No high school busing, 2 miles radius, you have to bus them outside of that. Anything inside that is considered a walk zone. So the district has obviously a great luxury of having any kid who lives within outside a half mile gets to be transported at the elementary level. And then at the high school level, it's a hit and miss. Depending on the bus, if it's coming by a certain area, they will pick up a kid. Again, we're approximately 200 kids that we're busing right now based on current standards that Tiffin City Schools uses that we would not have to bus, so that we could cut a couple, a route or driver there. But again, you are impacting, just like any plan, you're going to impact somebody.
And to follow up on that, I think the part of the plan was to prepare for next year when Ella is closed. And now a bunch of kids are now going to be eligible for busing, even with the 2-mile radius, because they have no way to cross there.
Yeah, when Ella Street Bridge is under construction, it's over 300, I think up to 360 kids, I think is what Mr. Conger has told me, that will become eligible for busing, which would require a significant number of new buses and drivers to make that happen. And so if double routing would not happen next year, it will be forced on the district the following year just because there's no way of getting it done.
The reason I brought it, I just want to make sure that public discussion makes it clear that there's a reason, more than just savings, more than just number of bus drivers that we have and cannot get statewide. But there's a lot of moving pieces here in terms of our busing issues and the district in general. So I want to make sure that was being clear.
And there's no doubt that the savings initially will not be as significant as it will as you move forward. As anything you do, if you do it more frequently, you get more proficient. And so the proficiencies that will be gained over the next 3 years, and then obviously after the Ella Street Bridge is completed, will be huge savings for the district, or significant savings for the district. An average bus costs about $100,000, as you well know, because you vote on them every year. That's right now I think we have 22 buses in our fleet that run on a daily route. That number is projected to be down to 15 or 16 buses needed to do the same job that we're currently using 22 buses for. So at some point, that's a significant savings to the district and overall cost of a fleet.
But to Dr. Gase's point, it sounds like we're already going above and beyond to serve more families and more students to be able to bus more. I'm understanding that correct? And then with the Ella Street change, we will not have a choice but to change things. And so there's also a piece of this where change is inevitable so that we can continue to serve the number that we do. And if we were to do it next year, it allows the transportation department and their team to become more efficient and only better at it. Because it sounds like once Ella Street's out, we don't have a lot of options. So there's a number of moving pieces so that we can continue serving more families and students. Am I getting that right?
That would be absolutely correct.
As Mr. Conger and Jim and I were talking before the meeting, there are districts that do triple routing, right?
Yes, many districts do what they call triple routing. And if I could just read quickly what that is, they bring in middle school, high school kids in, and then they go back out and pick up half of the elementary and at the furthest outlying areas, come in, drop them off quickly, go back out into a short lying area or close school, areas closest to the school, pick them up and then bring them in, which even reduces the number of drivers even greater than a double routing does. So there's all types of different routing out there. I would also indicate that I don't know that you'll find a city school that does not double route. I think our administrative staff went on the internet the other day and looked all over the place and definitely looked at school districts like ours and did not find any that was single routed. Everyone's double routed.
One of the efficiencies that will change next year if we switch busing, we'll have neighborhood busing instead of building busing. So we're going to have a whole family K-5. There's 3 kids in that level. They all get on the same bus. So there are some advantages too that will be nicer for the parents.
And that is so true, Scott. And right now, you think about the inefficiencies of what we're doing currently. You have a bus who picks up right now, that stops by a house and picks up a kid from Washington. That bus leaves and heads on, and another bus pulls up because that same family has a kid that goes to Kraut. They get on, that bus pulls off, and then 10 minutes later, another bus pulls up for a kid that goes to Noble. So you have 3 buses stopping at the same house. It's just not efficient.
Yeah, if you listen to the radio in the mornings and in the afternoons, there's certain areas of town where buses sit and wait for somebody to get through some of the smaller streets so they can make their loop through the same spot to drop off kids.
Anything else? I would just like to do one thing. And Scotty?
Yeah, one more thing. If anybody out there has concerns about the transportation or want to give them their input, they either can contact me or Mr. Grubbs via email or a phone call at the administration building.
And then, Mr. Grubbs, if people have questions about the levy, I know you did some question and answer. It's available, it's on Facebook through the Tiffin City School website, I believe, page. And is it on anywhere else to access it?
Yeah, I can, we have links to like a news release that went out, like multiple questions and, here's your answers to the questions you have regarding the levy. So we can make sure that is on our website again and send that out. I can share it with the entire staff and board members, and they can also share that with friends. Sharon and I and Bob have had the fortune to present to multiple groups at this point, and it's really been very supportive at the group presentations. Actually, we're kind of been surprised, I guess, a little bit. So we're still looking forward for the results on next Tuesday.
And then Ms. Kuhn, are you guys almost done with testing?
We have 8 more days of testing.
Wow.
I'll be running a report probably tomorrow to just double check and see where we're at with all of our students and where they're at with making sure that they're completed.
Yeah, with an art teacher here, my son was very upset. He had to miss art, and he thought that was far more important than state testing, so.
Understandable. I do not have hurt feelings on that.
Thank you for the job.
Well, another lively session, very good discussion. I would like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Mrs. Perry, call the roll.
Dr. Gase?
Yes.
Dr. McBride?
Yes.
Mr. Perez?
Yes.
Mr. Woodman? Dr. Hoyta?
Yes. Our next regularly scheduled meeting will be the Tuesday after graduation, May 25th, 2021, at 6 p.m. at the Tiffin Middle School cafeteria. Thanks for your attention. Have a great evening.